Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Now today we are taking a look at the Flashpoint Garter, which might just be the worst third-party name ever, aka Tobey Maguire as Spidey from Spider-Man 1. This isn't only his proper Spidey suit, but the wrestling suit as well. Now I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Do bear in mind, this is a third-party, unlicensed, unofficial product. I have popped the link in the description below for your reference purposes only. This is by no means a promotional video, this is a review on a figure I picked up for my own personal collection. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, super simple, Garter up top, this web pattern in the background, plus Spidey in the full suit and the wrestling suit down below in a two-tone red and blue finish. On the side of the box, Flashpoint. On the back of the box, Garter, Flashpoint, and of course, various warnings. Now, in the display, I don't know as of yet if I'm going with this suit or the wrestling suit. We'll have to try them both out, and then, fingers crossed, y'all can let me know which one you prefer. First in-hand impressions are, this suit is super vibrant. And to tell you the truth, I'm kinda digging the look here. Now the head sculpt, we will discuss, don't you worry, a little bit later. We do have one foam block up on top and another down below. So what we are going to do now is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first, it's pretty simple. It's the rectangular style of base with some Spidey web pattern on the surface. Up front, Flashpoint, but why? Why not just leave it blank or print Spider-Man? Nevertheless, that's really ugly, and as soon as this video is finished, I will be removing it immediately. Up top, we do have a regular crotch grabber. Now, it's worth noting there are two different versions of this figure. One that's just in the standard Spidey suit, represented by this mask. By the way, the mask looks good, it's made of rubbery fabric, and no, it can't actually be worn on the figure. But if you get the deluxe version, you get the full wrestling suit and a casual Peter Parker style hoodie. We will be trying both outfits on the figure a little bit later. Normally I bring the full outfit out here for the wrestling suit, but I want to save the suspense. It looks a lot better installed on the body. Now you do get a backpack that is padded. You can actually open it up, remove the padding, and maybe store something inside, like some of the extra hands or even one of the masks. Up front it says JanSport, so it is branded. Around the back, some proper adjustable straps. So yes, this can be worn by the figure. This though might just be my favorite accessory here, and you may be thinking, really Justin? It's a notebook, how good could it be? Well, if you open it up, we have some stunning artwork that's meant to be the sketches Peter did when he was designing his Spidey suit. So, yeah, I could absolutely see myself posing up Peter in the wrestling suit, sitting down and sketching in the notebook, trying to design his final costume. You all know me, I'm a huge fan of fully printed 1/6 scale books. I don't know why, it's just my thing. Now we do have two completely different Tobey Maguire head sculpts. This one is a lot angrier. He's got the furrowed brow, the hair sits a little bit flatter. I like the sculpt and the paint is good. Is it the best thing ever? No. Is the likeness 100%? Also no. Whereas with the other one, I think the likeness is a little stronger. I do like the neutral expression better, I prefer the hair, the paint looks pretty much the same between both of them. I'm going to leave it up to you. Which of these head sculpts do you prefer, knowing that this one might be a recast from the Hot Toys Black Suit Spidey from Spider-Man 3. Everyone has their own opinion on recasts, it's entirely up to you. Now you do get a pair of black framed glasses, although there's no actual glass inside for lenses, and yes, we will try this on the head sculpt a little bit later. Normally we wouldn't be spending a ton of time on hands, but this time we're going to why are these the only hands that you get for the full suit? That's right, no closed fists, no pairs, you get one for him to grip his mask, one open palm hand, and that is it. They come pre-installed on the figure, and if you wanted a different gesture, well, you're SOL, that's all you get. The same thing can be said for the wrestling suit. You get the gardening/racing gloves. I do like the sculpt with the wrinkles and the texture. I also like the dry brushing, but why only open palm hands? We should have at the very least gotten thwipping hands and closed fists, but once again, no, these are what you get. You do, however, get a few more just regular ungloved hands. I like the sculpt, I like the texture. But at the end of the day, this is nowhere near enough hands for Spidey. What we are going to do now, though, is get Spidey himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And you know what? I kinda dig this figure. Now, he's not perfect, the hand selection is whack, the head sculpts are good but not great, and the outfit is a little bit restrictive when it comes to articulation. But I like the way it looks, I like the colours, I like the textures of the fabric. Plus, the body, in my opinion, has really good proportions. That being said, this is a really unique figure. You have to be in the market for a Spidey figure that has no mask, unless you're looking for the wrestling suit, and very limited choices for hands. Yeah, this is going to appeal to a very specific type of collector, and luckily, I happen to be one of them. Up close and personal, kicking things off with the head sculpt first, and in the Spidey suit. Don't you worry, we'll pop the wrestling suit on, cause yeah, I'm pretty curious to see what that looks like on this body. Now, I do have him wearing the glasses. They look just okay, but in my display, yeah, I think the glasses are coming off because this head sculpt does, as I said earlier, look like Tobey Maguire. Is it the best Tobey head sculpt I've ever seen? No. Does it fit on the body? Yeah, I think it does. It looks slightly big from certain angles, but from others, it does the job perfectly. Now, one of the coolest things for me is he has a proper exposed skin tone neck. Oh yes, this is what we've been waiting for forever. But unfortunately, unlike the upcoming Hot Toys figure, you can't actually put the mask on him. It's either you get this figure with the exposed neck and the head sculpt, or you get the Thunder Toys Spidey with the full mask. You can't really have the best of both worlds like you can with Hot Toys. But some people would argue this cut is a lot more seamless and smooth as compared to the big bulky joint on Hot Toys. It's entirely up to you. I could honestly go either way, but so far, yeah, this is something different and something that I've been waiting for forever. With the other head sculpt on, you've got to be really careful, cause you never know what might happen. He could put some dirt in your eye. I'm so sorry, I had to. He looks angry. This head sculpt, I think, suits the black suit better, but if you wanted to have an angry Spidey in this suit or the wrestling suit, yeah, you could absolutely do that. Is this my preference? No, I prefer the other one, but having different expressions is always a good thing. Moving down to the body, there are a couple of things we need to discuss because there's some weirdness, some funkiness going on, but for the most part, I think the suit looks awesome. I love the colors, and the big chonky logo on the back is accurate to Spider-Man 1. I so hope I'm right in saying that, but I did some research, and yes, it does look to be spot on. The same thing can be said for the Spider logo on the chest. These are 3D rubbery pieces. The same thing can be said for the web lines and the screen printing on the red. Now, previously with the Thunder Toy Spidey, it was all fabric. This feels a little bit more rubbery, but it doesn't feel like it's going to crack and peel. It still looks the part, and it seems just that little bit more durable. Now, the blue sections are fabric. I do like this kind of honeycomb or brick style print on the surface. And the best part about the blue sections is they are fabric, so no creasing and no cracking. Now, the body itself is kind of weird, like I said before. You do have some definition for the muscles, but there is padding in some really weird places. And when it comes to the arms, they are on ratchets, but they spring out constantly. Really annoying because I want this Spidey with his arms down by his sides, but oh no, the body has its own plans. It wants to be out like this. Now it could be that there's padding up in this joint, or the suit is kind of tucking up in there and pushing it out. If you do futz with it and kind of force it up and push it up and in, then yes, it sits down, but with the slightest touch, yeah, it's going to pop out and do its own thing. Coming down to the legs, I don't mean to sound like I hate this figure or I'm bashing it just for the sake. I don't mean to. There are certain things I really like here, but other things that I really don't. Now the fabric is still great. I love the printing, I love the stretch, and I love the color. The stitching is also super clean on the inside for both sides. Although it is worth noting that the padding is really ugly. I don't know why it's so ugly, but you can see the edges of it, especially on the knees and the thighs. Okay, I understand that they were going for those bigger thighs, but there are other ways of doing that, such as actually going with a bigger body, rather than going with the slimmer body and adding padding over the top. That impacts articulation, and as you can see, it looks kinda ugly. Coming down to the boots, speaking of ugly, this is it right here. Now the reason they buckle as much as they do is because they can't actually glue the boots in position, because you have to take them off to put on the wrestling suit. That means they slide off, so they slide down and into that joint constantly. Now I like the fabric, I do like the 3D raised web lines and the printed texture, but this buckling is just a no-go for me. You can slide them up and maybe add some padding inside to bulk it out just a little so it doesn't tuck inside the joint. Out of the box though, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if yours comes looking exactly like this. On the underside, you have some unsculpted and unpainted black plastic soles. If you are wondering, what the heck does this guy look like wearing the wrestling suit though? Now you may be thinking, Justin, why didn't you show us how to take off the Spidey suit and pop all this stuff on? Well, that's the thing, you actually don't take off the Spidey suit, it's stitched and sewed onto the body. There is no zipper, there's no way of removing it, it's permanently attached. Therefore, I just slid everything over the top, which worked perfectly. Now, it does make him look a little bit bulky because there are so many layers on the upper torso, but that might work for some people if you prefer a swole Spidey. Now, you could always get a second body and pop all this stuff on, because you kinda get everything you need here. You've got hands, you've got shoes, you've got pants, you've got a shirt, plus 2 head sculpts. You can make 2 completely separate figures. And that's what I intend to do for my display. Now, the head sculpt is still the same head sculpt. It sits at the same height as it did on the neck before, although now with the addition of the hoodie and the shirt, his neck looks slightly too short, at least for me. Now, the hoodie is fully removable. There is a zipper up the front. You can have him wearing the hood if you so choose. For me, I'm going with the stock standard wrestling suit, although with the mask on, yeah, that could work too. This was never a look that I thought I'd ever use in the display. I thought, oh no, the Spidey suit is the one for me, but oh, I was so wrong. This looks really good. Now, starting off with the mask, I've gone with the angry head sculpt because, I mean, look at the fringe on this one. You can imagine when you pull a mask down over the top and there's a big, bulky, fully sculpted fringe, it's visible, it looks really ugly. Whereas with this one, it's a lot smoother, it looks way better. Now, the shirt is all fabric. I love the spider and the web lines on the front. It kind of looks like it's been spray painted just like the movie. Around the back, a massive spider symbol, and you do have the gardening gloves, although only one gesture, which is the open palms. Still happy to have them, but I would have loved a few more hands for this outfit. On the underside, I do still have the Spidey suit. As I said before, it's not removable anyway, so that means you do have to be a little bit more careful as some of those rubbery sections are still present. They're just underneath his wrestling suit. Now the pants are also all fabric, some red lines running all the way down to his proper Nike branded shoes. A really nice touch to have the swoosh there, didn't expect it, but it's here and it looks awesome. The shoes are nicely weathered, they're absolutely filthy, plus you do have some tread and some dirt and grime, fully sculpted and painted underneath. I was kinda curious, and I'm a huge fan of kit bashing, so I fished out this spare ZC Toys muscular body. It's one of my favourite go-to kit bashing bodies. It's relatively cheap, it's fully sculpted and painted. It feels nice and high quality. Plus, it has a neck. This head sculpt doesn't, so fingers crossed it should all be compatible. And with a simple snap of my fingers, I should have a separate wrestling suit Spidey. And just like that, I now have a completely separate wrestling suit Spidey. I really like this. It means I can display both this figure and this one in the display. And all I had to do was purchase a relatively inexpensive body. Everything fits, everything looks proportionate, the outfit is all fabric, it's nice and baggy. Plus, there's no padding here, so that means I can go crazy with the posing. For a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have the Flashpoint Garda on the left and my custom kit-bashed wrestling suit Peter Parker on the right. Yeah, I now, as I said before, have two figures for the price of one, plus an additional ZC Toys muscular body. Nevertheless, I'm really happy. I like the results of the Flashpoint Kit Bash. I also like the standard suit with the standard head sculpt and the exposed neck. Yeah, so far so good. Although they aren't perfect, that is true. For the most part, they do check a lot of my boxes. And who knows, maybe they'll tick some of your boxes too, but next up, here we have Thunder Toy Spidey alongside Flashpoint Spidey, two completely different approaches to a Spidey figure, one with a mask, one with an exposed neck, one with rubbery sections for the red and fabric for the blue, whereas Thunder Toys is all fabric. I personally still prefer the Thunder Toys, I think it's just a better looking figure, but at the end of the day, it's all down to you. If you prefer a Spidey without the mask on and you've been waiting, like a lot of us have, for years to have the exposed neck, well, now's your chance. But it does come with the trade-off of not being able to put that mask on. Then lastly, here we have the SL Custom Wrestling Suit Peter on the right, and then the ZC Toys Muscular Body Flashpoint Garda Hybrid on the left. Now, I don't know if I'm slightly biased because I had a hand in putting it together, but I like the one on the left. He's slightly taller, he's a little bit bigger and beefier, plus the outfit just looks better. Now, the SL Custom isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but the really thick stripes on the pants, the scrawny body, the thin and long neck, yeah, it kind of works to that figure's detriment. He does have better articulation, don't get me wrong, the posability is awesome, but everything else, I think, is done better by Flashpoint. Going over articulation, do bear in mind this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. Starting off with the head sculpt, it's on a fixed neck with a double ball peg, looking forward and back, swivel as well as pivots. The arms will go up on clicky ratchets too there. They will go forward and back, also on ratchets, butterfly joint at the shoulder that does hinge up and down. Swivel at the bicep, which is super stiff, double bend at the elbow, also on ratchets, plus a regular 1/6 scale wrist peg. The torso does crunch forward and back, although there is some padding inside, so it's slightly more limited, as well as pivot and swivel. The legs go forward to there and kind of spring right back down because of the padding, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, ratcheted double bend at the knee that does get you past 90, plus of course a double ball peg down here for the ankle. Wrapping up on Flashpoint Garda, a terrible name for what is, in my opinion, a pretty decent figure. He's not perfect, the articulation is limited, the bunching at the ankles is ugly, you can't have him wearing the Spidey mask, and the hand selection, quite frankly, is terrible. With all of that being said, do I still like this figure? Oh, yes I do. Call me a sucker, but give me something different, something that we've not seen before, and I'm immediately intrigued. This guy is really good. I like the body proportions, I like the look, the feel, the texture of the fabric on both outfits. And did I mention you get 2 outfits? One is the wrestling suit, one is the Spidey suit that's accurate to Spider-Man 1. And finally, his neck is visible. Am I mad that I can't put the mask on with the regular Spidey suit? No, I've got the Hot Toys one coming, I've got the Thunder Toys one. This knows what it wants to be, it sets out with a goal, and it accomplishes it, in my opinion, really well. Now, with all of that being said, could you add this guy to your display as your main Spidey? No, I don't think you could, unless you're going for fully unmasked for all of your Spideys. This guy is a super niche figure, and he's only going to appeal to the most hardcore collectors. Luckily for me, I happen to be one of them. Now, don't forget, this is third party, it's unlicensed. This is an unofficial product. I got mine from toyswonderland.com. I have popped the link in the description below. This is by no means a promotional video. This is a review on a figure I picked up for my own personal collection. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.